What's up, everyone? This is week 18 of NFL predictions. This will be the final week of the regular season before we go to the playoffs. And this should be a decent week. We'll see what happens, and we'll go ahead and hop right into predictions. So our first matchup is going to be between the Panthers and the Bucks. I have the Panthers winning this one 20-10, and this is going to be a really big game. This is going to be one of the biggest games of the week. And if the Panthers win it, they win the division. Now, if the Bucks win it, they need some help from the Falcons, but we'll get to that later. Or no, they need the Falcons to lose. So if the Falcons win, regardless of what happens here, the Panthers would win. But it doesn't really matter anyway, in my opinion, because I think that the Panthers are going to win this game. I just think they've been playing a lot better. They are very hot and cold, but the Bucks have just been all cold, to be completely honest, at this later part of the season. So because of that, I have to go with the Panthers. All right, we got another really big game between the Seahawks and the 49ers. I have the 49ers winning this one 23-20. And this game's going to decide the 1 seed. Whoever wins this game is going to win the NFC West along with the 1 seed. So huge game for these teams. I think the Seahawks at the worst will be the 5 seed if they lose. And if the 49ers lose and the Rams win, they could potentially get knocked out of the 6 seed. And I mean, this game could really go either way, in my opinion. I wouldn't be shocked if the Seahawks won. The 49ers, in my opinion, have been playing better, so I'm going with them. And it'll be a really good game, and I'm really looking forward to this one. All right, and our first Sunday game is between the Saints and the Falcons. I have the Falcons winning this one 15-14. It is a weird score. I will definitely acknowledge that, but this is just what the Falcons do. They're a weird team. They literally just beat the Rams last week. No one expected that. But they will also barely beat bad teams. They'll lose to some bad teams. They'll blow out good teams. They're just so all over the place. And I mentioned earlier that if the Falcons win, the Panthers are NFC South champions. And so the Falcons need to lose in order for the Bucks to win, and the Bucks also have to win. So they honestly kind of need a decent amount of help for them to make the playoffs. Falcons can't make the playoffs because they wouldn't have tiebreaker over the Bucks or the Panthers because they got swept by the Panthers, so it would be them. But we'll go into another game because this game's definitely not as important as other games that we'll talk about. All right, next up we have the Browns taking on the Bengals. Obviously, this game doesn't matter from a playoff standpoint. I have the Bengals winning 26-13. And to tell you the truth, the only reason this game matters at all besides draft implications is the Myles Garrett sack record. He's at 22. The record's 22.5. If he sacks Joe Burrow or whoever the quarterback's going to be, if he gets hurt or something, he's going to be the all-time sack leader, or not the all-time sack leader, the leading sack leader for a season. I don't know why I can't talk today, but yeah. Well, I hope for Myles Garrett's sake that he gets that record because he is a really damn good player, and I kind of feel bad for him because he's stuck on a really bad team, but that's really the only thing I'm going to be watching for in this game, to be completely honest. All right, next up, we have the Colts taking on the Texans. I have the Texans winning this one, 31-10. The Colts, they're starting Riley Leonard, which is probably the right thing to do. I mean, Philip Rivers is not going to really do anything at this point. I mean, not that we didn't really already know that. But, the Colts are already out of the playoffs. They've been out of the playoffs. They got eliminated last week when the Texans beat the Chargers. And the Texans, they have an outside shot to still win the AFC South. They need the Jags to lose, and they need to obviously win this game. And I think they will at least win this game. And, that's all I got to say. All right, next up we have the Titans taking on the Jags. I have the Jags winning this one, 24-17. I actually think the Titans have been playing pretty well recently. I mean, I know the Titans don't have the greatest record, but they've kind of been looking presentable, and that's something considering how bad they looked at the beginning of the season. So I honestly would not be shocked if they pulled off an upset here. I personally don't think they're going to, just because the Jags are going to be locked in to make sure that they can win this game and win their division. So win clinches their division, and they could potentially get the 1 seed if the other 2 games fall their way. But we'll have to talk about that later when we talk about Patriots and Broncos. But yeah, I do think the Jags will at the very least win their division and probably be the 3 seed. All right, we have a game that literally doesn't matter at all between the Packers and the Vikings. I have the Vikings winning 12-0 because J.J. McCarthy's not going to be playing. Jordan Love is not going to be playing. I'm not sure if Jordan Love's injured or if they're just resting him, because regardless of what happens, the Packers will be the 7 seed. And the Vikings are already eliminated from the playoffs, so this game's kind of boring, and I'm not going to spend too much time with it. Yeah, that's all I got to say, really. There's not much here. All right, we have a game that doesn't matter, but I do think it'll be exciting. Cowboys and Giants. I have the Cowboys winning 33-30. I expect both offenses to be humming. And, just because a game doesn't technically matter doesn't mean it can't be exciting. And the Giants, I'm not going to lie, they have been a very exciting team despite how bad their record is. And the Cowboys have a really good offense with a bad defense, and that's just a recipe for exciting football. And I do think the Cowboys will win. I would not be shocked if the Giants won, but the Giants probably want to lose this game for the draft pick implications, because they could potentially still get the number 1 overall pick if things fall their way. And we'll see what happens. All right, next up we have the Jets taking on the Bills. The Bills can't win their division. They can get a higher seed. Obviously, I think the Bills are going to win. And this game doesn't matter that much for the Bills, just because even if they lose, they're still going to be in the playoffs. They're just going to be a wild card team. And they can't win their division. And I think regardless of who is playing for the Bills, because I'm not sure if Josh Allen's going to play. I think he's going to play just because they could get a higher seed and he's not super banged up or anything. But yeah, they could literally throw me out there as quarterback, and they'd probably still beat the Jets. The Jets are a bad team. I really don't think they're going to win this game. I think losing would be way more beneficial for them, because I don't think Aaron Glenn's a good head coach either. And I'm going with the Bills. All right, next up we have the Lions taking on the Bears. I have the Bears winning this one with a score of 27-20. The Lions, they can still put up points. They had a really bad showing on Christmas Day that eliminated them from the playoffs. So this game does not matter for them, but that does not mean they're not going to try. Dan Campbell is one of those coaches where no matter what the situation is, his guys are going to give 110% every single time. But I still think the Bears are going to win just because they're at home. They've been playing better in my opinion. I don't think that's a hot take. And if the Bears win this game, I believe they clinch the 2 seed. I think the only way they don't get the 2 seed is if they lose and the Eagles win. Actually, wait, hold on. I think they already have the 2 seed, actually, because they beat the Eagles, so... Or wait, no, they have the same record. I'm dumb. So yeah, if they lose and the Eagles win, then they would be bumped down to the 3 seed, but if they win, then they'd be the 2 seed. Yeah, I don't know why it took me so long to process that, but yeah. I think the Bears are going to win. We'll see what happens, but it doesn't matter a whole lot, because regardless, they will be playing as a division winner in Wild Card Weekend. All right, next up we have the Chargers taking on the Broncos, and I have the Broncos winning this game 17-0. And the reason I have them winning like this, if you don't know already, the Chargers are resting their starters, and I think it's just because Justin Herbert is extremely banged up right now, and they want to get him as healthy as they can for the playoffs. And it's definitely interesting that they're doing that, because they could still get a higher seed if they win this game. And to tell you the truth, I totally think they could win this game if Justin Herbert was playing. But I get it. You want to make sure your quarterback is as healthy as possible for the playoffs. And I I do appreciate it. It actually does help the Broncos out a ton that they're not playing Justin Herbert, because if the Broncos win this game, they're the number 1 seed because they have the 1 seed currently, and if they win, obviously they retain that 1 seed. And yeah, we'll see what happens with the 1 seed picture, but I mean, I really don't think we're going to lose to Trey Lance in Week 18 in 2026. And yeah, we'll be the 1 seed, hopefully. All right, we have our next meaningless game. It's between the Chiefs and the Raiders, and I really don't think anyone besides Chiefs and Raiders fans are going to watch the game. I have the Chiefs winning 13-10. I mean, this game could really go either way. I think Raiders fans are really hoping they lose this game because they have the 1 pick currently, and if they lose, they'll keep the 1 pick. And they need it. I think they want Fernando Mendoza. He looks pretty good. It's really the only thing you can really think about if you're the Raiders right now. The Chiefs, I mean, their season's been over for a while, especially since Mahomes isn't even playing. Yeah, this game's boring. I'm just going to move on. All right, next up we have the Cardinals taking on the Rams. This game definitely doesn't matter a ton. I have the Rams winning, obviously. But yeah, the Rams currently are the 6th seed. And if they win this game and the 49ers lose to the Seahawks, they will get bumped up to the 5 seed. But literally any other result would have them still be the 6th seed. So yeah, I don't think the Rams are that worried about this game. I mean, obviously they're going to try to win, but yeah, I'm not really thinking that the Rams are going to be playing at like 100%, but they really don't need to. The Cardinals, they've been a really bad team for the last couple of months. They started out kind of strong. They started 2-0, and even when they lost, it was really close. And they haven't won a game since I think October. And I think it was like week 7 or something. I don't even remember. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I have the Rams winning this game. All right, next up we have the Dolphins taking on the Patriots. I have the Patriots winning 23-13. This game obviously doesn't matter for the Dolphins. The Patriots, if they win this game, they will at the very least be the 2 seed if they win this game. They could get bumped down to 3 if they lose and the Jags win. And yeah, right now they're the 2 seed. If they win this game and the Broncos also win, like I think they're going to, the Patriots will be sitting at 2. And if the Broncos somehow lose to the Chargers backups, then the Patriots could potentially get that 1 seed. You know, we'll have to see what happens, but I do think the Patriots are going to take care of the Dolphins. All right, next up we have the Commanders taking on the Eagles. I have the Eagles winning this one 20-17. And yeah, I forgot to mention this with the Seahawks and the Eagles, but the curse wheel cursed both of them. Because for some reason, Brandon Perna decided to spin the wheel twice, and it landed on both those teams. But I'm at the point with the curse wheel where I'm kind of just done with it. Like, I'm not as much of a follower of it as I used to be, because I'm not going to lie, they've kind of been letting me down. I really don't think that it's really that much of a superstition anymore. I feel like it's just kind of there. But yeah, the point is, I think the Eagles are going to win. And finally, ending the week, we have the Ravens taking on the Steelers. I have the Steelers winning this one 17-10. And this game, it's going to decide the AFC North. If the Steelers can win or tie, they win the division. And if the Ravens don't literally win, then they don't win the division. You know, it's as simple as that. And I'm picking the Steelers just because Lamar always plays terrible against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. And there's also a chance that Lamar doesn't even play. So if Lamar's not playing, the Ravens literally have no chance at winning this game. But I do think the Steelers are going to win. I think it's going to be one of the best games of the NFL season. And yeah, that's going to be Week 18 in the books. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention this last week for Week 17. I went 9-7, putting my current record at 170, 84-1. And as I just mentioned a few minutes ago, the Seahawks and Eagles are on the curse wheel. And I mean, I guess I picked again, but I really don't think the Eagles are going to lose. And there you have it. These are all the games that are going to be played, or all the teams that I think are going to win, and what I think the scores are going to be. And yeah, I know this week's kind of weird because I feel like there's a lot of games that are being played that either don't matter at all or don't matter in the sense of, no, don't matter as much as like other games do. Like there's like games that matter a ton, like the Panthers and Bucks, Seahawks 49ers, Steelers Ravens. But after that, I mean, it's kind of just like a bad team playing against a good team, or two bad teams that are already eliminated, or like, yeah, you get the point. Like this week's definitely not, in my opinion, not the greatest week of the NFL. But, still NFL. I'm looking forward to the playoffs. That's going to be a good week for Wild Card Weekend. And, yeah, I will see you guys for my, my playoff power rankings, because that's what's going to be up next. This NFL season's flown by. It was a lot of fun doing this on YouTube, and I hope to continue to do it in the future. And, yeah, hope you enjoyed. And peace out.